All right, how are we doing? We got some things to catch up on. So first and foremost, for those of you that watch on YouTube, you can obviously that I cut my hair. It was big chop season, but usually you hear that term with like a mental breakdown or something like that. But I promise you, I'm doing okay. It wasn't because of that. But we'll talk about the big chop a little later. But yeah, we're well into December now, halfway through the month. Survived Thanksgiving, got through Black Friday. Christmas is on the way. The New Year is just a couple weeks away. And happy holiday season. I hope you and yours are all doing well. I appreciate y'all for joining me on the A Day with Dre podcast. We got to 2,000 subscribers this year. And honestly, I never thought that I would get more than like 15. So I don't know who a lot of you are, but your time is appreciated for supporting me and my random babbling that I do sometimes. I do want to say though, like, I don't know if it's just me getting older because I still am chronically online, but like the holidays are just, I don't know, things are changing. Maybe I'm just getting aged out of some of the internet culture because I feel like this is the first time in a long time. Y'all remember that You Name It video? You know, the one where the she's like, I got greens, beans. I feel like this is the first time I didn't see it anywhere. And I think that's just a sign that society's all messed up because like that's a Thanksgiving classic. And also like Black Friday is just dead now. And not that like having, the most capitalistic holiday of all time is like a thing to celebrate, but it used to at least be something that you get together with some people, you go out, and now everyone's just doing everything from Amazon. Jeff Bezos needs to be stopped. But like all the just the little things that used to bring people together, like people aren't even getting together and shopping anymore. Like really, why are we so isolated? What's going on? But yeah, before we really get into this episode, again, we had so much amazing growth this year, thanks to y'all, and it's so appreciated. I'm thankful from the bottom of my heart, and let's keep this thing going. So please, of course, like, subscribe, share with a new person. Available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. You'll see clips on TikTok, Instagram Reels, all that stuff. So some of the things I was thankful for. I know we're in the middle of December, but I still got to talk about what I was thankful for. Thankfully, the Steelers now. Next week, I'll probably change my tune because they might get stomped by Detroit. But, for the first time in a while, they looked solid. They looked, because even when they win it usually looks ugly, but they looked like a legitimate playoff team. They beat the Dolphins down, and I know it's not saying much, but like the Dolphins won a bunch of games, so like shout out to them. Always thankful for being able to watch LeBron. It's my favorite basketball player of all time. He's still doing it, and we just appreciate the king, one of the greatest players of all time, in my opinion, the best basketball player I've seen in my life. Although I did live during the Jordan era, I didn't really, I was a child. I didn't really appreciate that greatness. So in my lifetime, LeBron's the GOAT. And one thing I'm not thankful for though is people. I've been called Unk a couple times, but like not even in a funny, joking way. Like I just finally got into playing basketball again, and I was at the gym and they needed one more to run, and he just goes, "Yo, Unk, you trying to run?" And I'm like looking over my shoulder, like, who is he? He was talking to me, and that was crazy because it was like, this dude was like 20, 21 years old or something like that. And I'm like, what? Like, I mean, I know I'm 31, but like, damn, I guess I really like father time is undefeated. But yeah, so like I was saying, I cut my hair. It was 13 inches long, and I know I have a lot of international folks that listen in. So 32 centimeters long, and it got me thinking. We hear the term big chop, and it's always we always like use that term for women. We try to associate like mental status with hair color, or like if your girl cuts her gets the big chop while you're together, then you're done. Like that means your relationship's over. Or if your girl like goes from a natural hair, dyes her hair some bright color, that means you just pushed her to mental collapse or something like that. But like, what's the man version? Because I went from having long hair to, as you can see, I'm back to rocking the short hair. Hopefully waves soon cometh. But what does it mean? Like where am I at mentally? And honestly, this just made me evaluate how I look at when women decide to do something drastic with their hair, because I was ready for something new. I was tired of trying to get my hair braided. So for all the women that I may have unfairly judged for you doing something drastically different with your hair, I get it now. Sometimes you just want something different, and it doesn't mean that your man did you dirty. Doesn't mean that you're on the brink of collapse. I mean, it could mean those things, but just know that I see you now. Also, maybe it means I'm locked in, right? I thought the opposite. I thought locked in was like, I'm not doing shit with my hair, beard's getting all crazy, because I'm not worried about that. I'm just trying to lock in, do what I need to do, study, get this money, whatever. But I don't know. It just, for me, it just meant I was done with having hair. So for all the men listening that think that the big chop means that that woman is having a psychological breakdown, just know that they could just want something different. I know it sounds crazy, but that I'm even having to have this conversation. But I promise you, like, dudes will be together, and when they're like talking about people they know, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, she cut her hair. Like she must have caught him cheating or something like that." But let's just stop assuming the worst. Maybe, I don't know. I also didn't think that I would have a 5 minute soliloquy on getting the big chop, but that's kind of what I do. But am I locked? Am I locked in, or is it over? Honestly, getting called unk humbled me so badly. So now I'm like in 2026 here coming up. I gotta I gotta lock in. I don't think I look old, but I'm not trying to have people a few years younger than me going around calling me unk. So I gotta lock in. But what I have noticed is as I'm recovering from these knee surgeries, you know, getting better physically, feeling a little more fit again. What's interesting to me is people are just like, man, you're getting too old. No more runs at the gym. No more that you're getting too old from that. And that brings up like this interesting thing that I think we do. Wow, when do you get too old to have fun? Things that bring you joy and like happiness as kids, of course, if they're just childish, maybe you should grow out of some of those habits. But I would even argue that as long as it's like safe, like you can keep those childish habits if it's like healthy and fun. But like why are we a society of people that penalize having fun and laughing? Like why is that only save for certain contexts? Like I enjoy playing basketball. Why is that considered like something that you got to stop doing? Why do I have to just go for runs now? I know it starts off as a kid's game, but like it's healthy. Why can't I keep doing it? And that speaks to a bigger thing. Like why as an adult is it for so many people frowned upon to get on the PlayStation every now and then? Why is it why are those hobbies exclusive for kids? It's one thing if you can't like you can't get out of your basement and you don't interact with people because all you want to do is get on the game. But like, why are we penalizing people for just having hobbies that they enjoy? What's an adult way to have fun versus a kid way to have fun? It's not like we're talking about building like a pillow fort with your imaginary friends or anything like that. Why are we so judgmental about things that aren't making money? Like, is this did the capitalism machine do such a number that if you can't be productive, if you can't walk on your treadmill and work on your computer at the same time, like that, then your exercising needs to be more productive. I don't get it. Like we're just wired so interestingly. Like it's one thing if I drop out of residency because I think that I just got one last shot to try to make it in the Canadian Football League or something like that. Because then that's not fun anymore. That's not a hobby. That's just something that, although you can still enjoy your hobby and have fun doing it, that's like true life decisions. I don't know, man. We just need to let people enjoy things. Even if we don't enjoy those things, like that doesn't mean that it's not cool just because you don't like something. Like it's not hurting anybody. As long as that person that's sitting on the game is keeping up with their hygiene, is able to put food on their table, just chill on them, give them a break. But that's like trickling down to kids. Like I hear these kids all the time talking about how, yeah, like I can't do this. How is this going to help me get to college? How is this like, bro? You have the rest of your life to grow up and think about responsibilities, enjoy yourself. Because there's a line between enjoying yourself and not taking life seriously at all. But like we got to let people enjoy themselves still. Like your your kids, you shouldn't put all this pressure in the world on your kids to just be these crazy high achievers where they grow up and like hate themselves because they feel like they've been an adult since they were 12. Like we got to remember that kids are kids and this world is stressful and hard to live in. So for a little bit of time at least, let them have a relatively stress-free life, or give them avenues to relieve stress. Let them enjoy their sports instead of being like, oh, if you can't get a scholarship in this sport, you can't do it. Man, let them live and enjoy their lives. But at the same time, some of us need to also know when, for some things, like you got to know when to give up. Like you're 35, like these football leagues that people are playing in, it's one thing if it's like you're doing it after hours on work watch. I will argue that football is too dangerous to just like do such part time like that. But like you're quitting your job to do this 39U league. Like maybe we went a little bit too far. Like let's reel it back in because I don't even think they're paying people in those leagues. You're paying to play football, and it's not like giving you anything other than CTE. Like, and I love football, but yeah, you can't give up. You can't uproot your life to play completely ridiculous, unorganized stuff. Like there's still got to be some. We got to have some sort of grasp on reality too. Like I don't want people to think, oh, he's saying just do what you enjoy, no matter what the consequences are, because consequences exist, and yeah, we got to keep that in mind. So you got to realize when it's over. But yeah, like back to what I was saying, man, it's holiday season. In the last episode, I talked about it for a little bit about how this time can be very isolating for some people. You're tired of going home and your aunt or grandma or whatever is like, "But what happened to so and so? I thought, she was here for 4th of July, but now she's not here for Thanksgiving. She's not here for Christmas." They'll have you feeling some type of way about that stuff, but it's always next year, right? People are always saying, I swear this is going to be my last Christmas. This is going to be my last New Year's without a New Year's kiss, like all that kind of stuff. Not to make light of some serious matters, because I know it is isolating this time of year, but, you know, find, find your community in something. But it is interesting because I feel like people feel lonelier than ever, even though we have access to each other more than ever. But like the constant access has made our conversations like mean less. They're more superficial. They don't matter as much. And this kind of goes back into like the overall theme. Like we're having all these conversations through texts and virtually, and we're not spending enough time with each other. And it affects us in so many different ways, like what I was saying about, people don't even get together to Black Friday shop, or even if you're not shopping, because you got to spend money and not everyone has money to spend. But even we used to get together and just people watch on Black Friday. We're not spending time together like we should, and it's really messing up how we connect with people. And y'all, like we got to change it. Like we want socialized people. I don't even think everyone thinks they're autistic now. Not to minimize what people think, and for all of you out there that actually are, shout out to you. I guess I don't really know what to say about that, but our lack of social skills and the fast deterioration of our ability to connect with each other socially, like you've forgotten how to deal with people because you're on your phone all the time, or you just only text and don't know how to have conversations anymore. Just that doesn't mean you're autistic, because difficulty in social situations, like that's just a thing that's happening to everyone because of technology. We're just not showing up for each other, not communicating with each other in the ways that we need to be. And like people are just too lonely. Like, for example, someone asked me this question and it just kind of had me stuck. And thankfully, I have a solid group of friends that like I wouldn't have issues with this, but I know a lot of people would. And the question was, do you have enough people in your life to not have to really sit and think about who your bridesmaids or groomsmen would be? Now, those of you with like big families, that's kind of, I guess, the cheat code. But like if you just only had to use friends, like people you were truly close with that you want to be a part of your special day, would you, and like average is like 5 or 6 people, would you be able to fill out 5 or 6 people on your wedding day that you want standing by you on hopefully the only time you'll go through that the rest of your life? And a lot of people were like, damn, I got to an easy 3 and then I had to really start thinking about the other people. And I don't know, I'd argue because we all know a lot of people, but I would argue that if you don't have a handful of people that you feel like you can be close to and want to be a part of your day outside of the people that you just put in that position because of blood, then again, I'm not trying to shame anybody, but that's just an indictment on kind of where we're at as a society. Something this fall that I've been doing more, I've become more active on Reddit. And let me tell you, I used to think that Twitter was like the most out of pocket place, but Reddit Reddit's just different. Like y'all that are on there are just you're built very you're built different. Let me just tell you that because I I joined this subreddit. I think again I'm new to actually using it, so maybe I'm not using the terminology right. But I joined this subreddit or this Reddit thread, however you want to put it, called Ask Reddit. I don't know if that's like a general one they just placed you in. I'm not even sure. And so I think it was today or maybe it was yesterday, and it was like, what screams I peaked in high school. And let me tell you, we have some issues. We have some insecurities because there are certainly things that say you peaked in high school. Like I'm 30, or excuse me, I'm 31. And like if I'm still wearing a Letterman just as like my winter jacket, I don't even know if kids wear those anymore, but people from my generation, you still got the Lettermans. And there's a fine line between not being able to let go and like and reliving those days. Like that would be on the maybe not as acceptable end of that. That's just the thing you keep in your closet at this point. Maybe you frame it, put it in, get one of those picture frames, big picture frames, and put your Letterman jacket in there because you can be proud of it. You could have been the shit in high school, but like, and I get it was expensive. So I'm not trying to pocket watch, but like, yeah, like that one, that's not cool. But like some of these things in here are just like someone said being a realtor means you peaked in high school. And it's just like, obviously you just got, someone you didn't like became a realtor. And instead of settling whatever beef you have with them, you just want to take shots at all realtors because I would argue that there's something from high school you can't let go of. And now you're just grouping all these people into that category because you're still insecure about something that might have happened to you 13, 14 years ago. And I don't know, that's crazy. But some of these things, like, it's just like bullying. Like, who cares if someone became a realtor? And what does that have anything to do with peaking in high school? I guess, I don't know. I'm not sure. But like, I guess that goes with some of the themes I was talking about earlier of knowing when to let go of things or when to move on. But just because you want to sell a house doesn't mean that you peaked in high school. Like that, you just might be a good salesperson, and the world needs realtors. One that kind of, I'm not going to lie, this one stung me a little bit, and I absolutely don't see myself. I don't know if anyone that does see themselves as someone that peaked in high school, but the one that triggered me was talking about stories from high school. Like, so I have a good group of friends, and I had a fun time in high school. All right, would never go back, but I had a fun time in high school. I also had a fun time in undergrad. Like I once I got into my teenage years and young adult years, like I enjoyed it. I was a student athlete and it allowed me to travel places. It connected me with a lot of people, and I made friends that I still talk to every day from those memories. So like I enjoyed those things, but because when we get together, we talk about every now and then. It's not like it's all we talk about because we also still have have lives, but every now and then something will remind us of someone from way back in the day. And it'll be like, remember when we tried to go snowboarding and what's his face broke his leg? We'll trade stories like that, or like conversations we had on the bus ride to whatever track meet, or when my friend stole a hurdle from a track meet. Like, we're it's just reminiscing. It's not like like, why did, reminiscing when life was easier, simpler. You didn't actually have responsibilities, but it's not. It's and wishing you would have appreciated that time more because you didn't know that was the last time you were gonna, be able to see your best friend all the time. But that's different than being like, I can't let go, because that's where you have a problem, when you can't let go. And people are just like, yeah, if you're a realtor, I saw one that said if you're a police officer, like that means you just can't let go of high school. And I'm just like, damn, y'all are mean. Like, the one thing that I will say is where you see that mentality a lot is that the people that can't let go of some of the stuff in high school go to your local, because let me tell you, I work with people that they still try to, have that, and they still try to have that, like, catty, you know, I run the OR like this because I was the captain of this team. And I'm like, did you just bring up you were the captain of team, and this is why you're doing something this way at work when you're 40? Like, you need your like, obviously you didn't get stuffed in lockers enough, or you did all the time, and now you're just getting your revenge on people because now you feel like you're in control. Like, that's the kind of stuff that's crazy. Those are the people I need to let that go. Like, if I ever say I'm doing this because of something that happened to me in high school and at my big age, I'm going out sad. Like, sometimes you gotta let that shit go. That's crazy. But yeah, some of these responses are crazy. Someone said going to high school parties in your 20s. I mean, I would argue going to high school parties at 19 is crazy. Again, and I know there's all types of different scenarios. Like, I'm not from a small town, so like I know socially sometimes different things happen there. But like, and I guess I just think of it as like a being a guy. Like, if I'm a guy going to a high school party when I'm 19. And of course, there are some situations like, so I have a brother that just turned 30. So he's a year and a half younger than I am. I think I went to his 18th birthday party or something like that, and I was 19 going on 20, and he like threw a house party. If you're asking people what's the move, and you're out of high school, and like, it's not people that you grew up intimately close with, and you're going to the town over, someone's sweet 16. We don't need you to be on the R. Kelly type of time or anything like that. You need to be put on a list as a grown man. Like, what are you doing around these people? Like, I know there's like a weird arbitrary, like, 18 is that even a real, who decided 18, blah 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 blah. But like, at some point you gotta accept it. Someone needs to throw rocks at you or something because you're dangerous. Seek help. I don't know. That might not even be able to be rehabilitated. I don't even, whatever. I'm not going to continue on that tangent. Yeah, like, I don't know. I guess I want to bring this to a close. I see a lot of people struggling with like changes, and like I was talking about, like how I was so judgmental on people when I would see them change their hair, meaning like that's a sign of something psychological. But like, y'all, it truly is okay to change. Like, I know I sit up here and joke, and I hope y'all don't take everything I say so literally, because obviously there's a grain of truth with it. But like, for the most part, I'm just here to talk and have a good time. But like, it's okay to change. It's okay to change your hair. It's okay to even change your mind on things, whether that's your mind on relationships, if that's your mind on the people you support. It's okay to change. New information should allow you to change things. One of my huge pet peeves with people are like, I said what I said, and even though this new information makes me wish I could make a different decision, I got to stick with it because I'm like a man, or I'm a woman of my word. And it's like, if contexts and situations change, you are a human that should be allowed to be fluid. Of course, that doesn't apply to every single situation, but like we got to start giving each other more grace because with new information, you should be allowed to form new opinions. We got to be allowed to change. We got to let people. What I'm trying to say is like we got to be a little more fluid. We got to stop being so hard, cold, and rigid toward each other. And like also with like the new year coming up, like it's okay to have an arbitrary start point because we're about to get into that season where everyone's like, why does it have to be January 1st when you got to start doing like for some people, it's just easier to do that. Like for me, I could be like, I cut my hair. Now let me get my shit together because sometimes having a start point represented helps people, do that extra thing. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We're so quick to try to look down on something that someone's doing. It's just like all that means is that there's something inside of us that we're not cool with. So we get off by, try to jump on other people. But again, I'm not here to be your therapist. Although low-key, I kind of am here to do that. Like, let's just keep rolling through this holiday season with like nothing, like the vibes of like love, peace, and happiness. Like, let's keep building each other up. Stop breaking each other down. Unless you're a vile person, then I'll continue to break you down. But that's all I got for y'all today. All right. Appreciate your time. Peace.